News is just happening so fast and furious we can't even really keep up with it. On Saturday in Pennsylvania, this attempted assassination of Trump. This is absolutely just mind-blowing. And I had sort of done this quick little podcast and a live stream just on my thoughts as it was happening, because my partner believes that nothing is an accident, and I kind of feel like that too. Like, we're in a story, the story has been written, right? Like here in Canada, now the script is going, Polyev's going to be the guy. And then there's people that don't like that either. He's a WEFer, things are going to be the same. His wife was involved in making money off PCR tests and things like that. There's scuttlebutt about him too. There's scuttlebutt about everybody. You don't know what to believe. And I had put a thumbnail out saying, was it fake news? And then I changed it to was this staged? Was he part of it? There's a big school of thought that people think that Trump staged this and that he was part of it. I don't know. I don't think so. You'd have to really trust a sniper to want to let them go, okay, I'm going to shoot this bullet, don't worry, I'm going to miss you, but I'm going to shoot. And the other thing about this, I'm not sure it went down like that. I'm pretty sure he thought all his security was in check, as it is supposed to be, because we've heard, you'll see on Twitter, there's other snipers, other people in the military, other podcasters that speak up and out about how this doesn't happen when a president or presidential candidate goes to a location. All that is scoped out, all the buildings are scoped out, every measure is put in place. So you guys are trying to tell me this little 20-year-old child nerd is the little kid that climbed the building and nobody in the Secret Service noticed and nobody was able to take him out before shots were fired.
Assassin attempted to take the life of former President Donald Trump at a rally. The motive and what is going on there: one bystander was killed, 2 others critically injured. The shooter is identified as a 20-year-old from a town 1 hour south of the rally's location. Meg Oliver has the latest from Western Pennsylvania.
Federal agents were spotted in Bethel Park, Pennsylvania, where the gunman, Thomas Crooks, lived.
They asked us to leave our house. They told us it was a state of emergency. No warning. They just knocked on the door in the middle of the night.
Take a look at what happened.
Sources say the firearm the 20-year-old used in the assassination attempt was legally purchased by and registered to the shooter's father. Law enforcement sources tell CBS News bystanders spotted Crooks shortly before the shooting and reported his presence to law enforcement. Officials momentarily lost track of the gunman minutes before he opened fire at the Trump rally, firing 6 to 8 rounds from an AR-style weapon approximately 400 feet from the podium.
That's the guy, that little baby, that little child. And if that child is the child and that kid has lost his life now because he's been shot, what the hell is going on in the world? And if he was a plant, if he was someone that the deep state used, or MK Ultra or manipulated to be the shooter, that's the guy you pick, this little kid that looks like he plays video games in his mother's basement. Still, he just looks like a child, and he is a child. He's only 20 years old, and 4 years ago he wouldn't have been able to vote for Biden anyway, whether he was a Republican or a Democrat. I am happy Trump is okay. I really, really am happy he is okay. I do believe that he wants to do good things. Is he part of the establishment? Probably yes. But is he more intelligent, more decisive? Is he a better businessman? Will he do better for America? I believe yes. But it's so hard out there because we don't know what to believe. And that little kid doesn't look like a picture that I'd seen going around of a guy called Mark Violet, a chubbier, sort of maybe Antifa looking guy. I don't know what's come of that, because when you go look that up, that's hard to find. This little kid's name is Thomas Crooks. And earlier today, Trump did announce his VP, which is this guy here. His name is J.D. Vance, and I hadn't heard of him before. I mean, I hadn't. He's just very much someone who's flown under the radar, but he did write a book, and there was a Netflix show about him, about hillbillies. And the book that actually made him famous is called The Hillbilly Elegy, a memoir of a family and culture in crisis. And I think this has something to do with Appalachia and what have you. And there was a Netflix movie made about it too, which I think I even saw part of, but I just don't recall. I just don't recall. So So JD Vance, if you look him up on Twitter, there are a lot of people sort of criticizing him for his stance on the vaccine. I have seen him say things like he is anti-mandate. I mean, he said some dumb things. He said some smart things. I've said some dumb things. I've said some smart things. But I did hear him say that he was anti-mandate, and I'm at least happy with that because I'm absolutely anti-mandate without question. So there he is. That's the pick. And I'll tell you any day, I'll take him and Trump over these two. I mean, if it's just so happened that Kamala Harris became president and Trudeau stepped down, which will never happen, and this tyrant here on the left in a double red dress, Christopher Freeland, if these two ran friggin' North America, I'd have to pack it in and move to the Galapagos. But we can't forget that, as much as sometimes we want to think that this is staged and maybe he's in on it, and I don't know what to think about that. I don't think he was in on that shooting. And a lot has been made about the way he turned his head. So, he turned so it just kind of grazed his ear. Yeah, he didn't it wasn't like a harsh turn. I think he just got lucky. That shot just missed and it just and the bullet just grazed his ear and that was that. And then much has been made of him saying fight, fight, fight and stuff like that. But I might say the same thing because when it comes to fight or flight, I fight. I would be on so much adrenaline and I would understand that there's a big crowd there that came to see me, to support me. And he's a showman. I would probably do what he did. And so some people are saying, why would you stand there and do that? Because people handle stressful situations differently. They just do. That's just how it goes. But let's not forget, a man lost his life. This man here, his name is Corey Comparatore, 50-year-old. He was shot and killed during the attempted assassination. So I just want to say thoughts and prayers to your family. That's absolutely awful. We can't forget that this was traumatizing to people there. People who turn up to support Trump, they believe in something, they're showing up, and then this kind of nonsense goes on. And when I was doing that live stream on Saturday, I was just looking for visuals, and I came across this. I mean, this guy covered in blood. This is traumatizing. I don't know the backstory. I don't know what happened, but look at this guy. And they're carrying people out who are injured. And the reason I'd put the banner down there saying fake news is because that's something Trump used to say. And I think I wasn't trying to say that this is fake news. I mean, that was wrong of me. This is actually news, but I was just trying to say perhaps was this a staged event, which many people do think, and the jury is still out for me. But look at this guy. Nothing is fake for this guy here. And so a reporter caught up with this witness just shortly after.
All we know was shots were fired, and then I jumped over the barrier and put my hand on the guy's head.
This is not Trump, though. This is another person.
Yeah. So Trump's not here.
And you said he got hit on his head?
Yeah.
Were you in the vicinity of where Trump was?
I was on the side. I was with a special guest.
Are you okay?
I'm Rico Elmore, but I just military reactions.
Yeah.
Military action. You react fast. You shoot to kill. A lot of times they shoot, before they think sometimes, which sometimes I think they need to hold off. But in this situation, they didn't. They let that guy fire those rounds and fire those shots, and then they shot. It was just a completely bizarre situation. And one more thing about JD Vance, we don't everybody's got a backstory. Everybody's got something. I don't know much about this guy, but here's one thing I've learned. Vance is the business associate of billionaire Peter Thiel, who serves on the steering committee of the globalist Bilderberg Group and is the founder of Palantir, which provides surveillance and other tech for the Pentagon and intelligence networks. Thiel and Vance also invest in Rumble. Okay, so that's that. Well, wow. What does that mean exactly? Who the heck knows? You know, I've been on Rumble since I was fired from Global. I've never been banned or censored off of Rumble because they're not that type of platform. But one thing you got to keep in mind, the internet, anything you see on the internet is because someone is letting that be on there. You know, they're letting us have a voice on Rumble, they're letting the others have the voice on YouTube. A little bit more YouTube is changing too, and these two worlds keep clashing. You know, you're finding out more and more, like a lot of podcasters are doing their bits on YouTube and go join me over on Rumble. That's where you can do the say what you want for free speech. But somebody's controlling that too. Well, Peter Thiel and all his buddies, and Vance might be one of them. That's okay as long as there's no sort of nefarious motives behind any of this. Who the hell knows? I'm not saying I know anything, but I'm just bringing it up. If something's on the internet, it's because somebody's letting it go on the internet. You know, everything is controlled. Nobody allows you to see anything that they don't want you to see.